طبعا احنا سمعنا عن محطة أم العيش ومحطة أم العيش 4، فأكيد احنا يبينا قمر صناعي، يعني ما يصير عندنا جراوند ستيشن بدون قمر صناعي. فأنا بكل فخر واعتزاز أحب أقدم لكم فريق الكيوب سات الكويتي. فكرتنا ان احنا يكون في عندنا قمر صناعي كويتي بأيدي كويتية. شباب كلهم يعني متطوعين كويتيين، اللي يجمعنا شغف وحب انه يكون في عندنا قمر صناعي كويتي. هدفنا كأول فريق كويتي يشتغل على مشروع كيوب سات او قمر صناعي مساطر او قمر مكعب، ان احنا ننشر الثقافة والتوعية في الكويت على أهمية دخول مجال الفضاء. ودنا نوصل الرسالة ان موضوع الفضاء ما هو صعب مثل ما اغلب الناس تتصور، الموضوع اسهل وايد، خاصة الحين مع تقدم التكنولوجيا صار الموضوع بسيط جدا بالنسبة مقارنة بالسابق. انا نتكلم ايام الستينات والسبعينات والثمانينات. فهذه رسالتنا. احنا طبعا مشروع القمر الصناعي وهو مجرد أداة احنا قاعد نستخدمها لنشر الثقافة ونشر التوعية، وإن شاء الله نلفت انتباه المسؤولين ومتخذين القرار أنه يكون في عندنا برنامج فضائي في الكويت. طبعا نبذة بسيطة عن شنو هو الكيوب سات أو شنو هو القمر الصناعي المكعب أو القمر الصناعي الصغير. هو عبارة عن قمر صناعي مثل أي قمر صناعي، مجرد أن حجمه وايد صغير بالنسبة للأقمار الصناعية العادية. احنا نتكلم مكعب 10 ب10 ب10 سنتيمتر، وكوزن بحدود 1.3 كيلوغرام. فكرته انه يكون قمر تعليمي. الهدف منه احنا نعلم الشباب شنو الاساسيات تصميم وتصنيع الاقمار الصناعيه وكيفيه تشغيلها لما يروحون الفضاء بالمدار الفضائي شلون يتم تشغيله. ففكرته طبعا احنا نتكلم بالمدار او الاوربت. عاده الاقمار هذه الصناعيه لانها اقمار تعليميه انها تكون قليله التكلفه وسهوله اطلاقها، انها تكون في المدار اللي هو بحدود 400 كيلو متر، اللي هو نفس المدار محطه الفضاء الدوليه. اللي يكون طبعا احنا قلنا سهوله في التصميم والتصنيع والسرعه في انهاء المشروع هذا، وبنفس الوقت يكون في عندنا طبعا قله تكاليف، وانه ما يسبب مشاكل او ياثر على البيئه في الفضاء او في المدارات الفضائيه. طبعا الاستخدامات ممكن يستخدم في مجال التعليم، ممكن يستخدم في مجالات الابحاث العلميه البسيطه، ممكن الواحد يمكن يستخدم هذه الادوات، او حتى في مجال اللي هو التكنولوجي ديمونستريشن، او حتى الحين بدأوا فيه حتى شركات تجاريه قامت تستخدم الانواع هذه الاقمار الصناعيه في تقديم خدمات تجاريه. مثل ما قلنا احنا الحين طبعا في عندنا شباب كويتيين، احنا نتكلم بحدود 15 شخص. الاستراكشر مال التيم طبعا لانه هو الموضوع يبي له تخصص، فوزعنا الفرق الى فرق مصغره، كل فريق يكون مسؤول عن جزئيه معينه في القمر الصناعي بحسب تخصصاتهم وحسب ميولهم العلمية والهندسية. فطبعا الفريق تأسس في شهر 6 اللي فات، تقريبا نفس موعد استقلال الكويت، يعني صارت صدفة انه يوم 19 جون فترة استقلال الكويت. فالحين طبعا ودي اقدم لكم اعضاء الفريق واحد واحد، فنبدي طبعا مع احد الفرق ويعتبرون من اهم الفرق اللي فريق خلينا نقول الميديا والكوميونيكيشن والاوتريتش، اللي هو مجال الاتصالات ونشر الوعي. فتفضل اخ حسين اسد لشرح موضوع الميديا والكوميونيكيشن.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hussein Asad. I'm the representative of our media and communications team. So basically, the media and communications team is the medium that connects orbital space technical teams to the community. So we make it easier for people to understand our work and understand the goals of launching our CubeSat and how it will benefit our country. So basically we have lots of channels of communication. So one of our main channels of communication is the blog. So you can check our blog on the internet. We have a calendar on our blog, and we have also lots of updates on whatever is going on in Kuwait regarding space and the space industry, right? Also, during this event, we'll be filming a vlog. Basically, this vlog is an interactive way to communicate whatever it is that we're doing on our project and to raise awareness on the importance of space. It's a little fun way to understand and really visualize our project in a very fun and interactive way. Also, we have an experiment, or the space camp that'll be launching next year. If you have a child and you want them to start building their future and foundation in the space industry, it would be really cool if you send them to the space camp, where they will be more oriented and educated in the space industry. We also have workshops going on. So we have a workshop going on here at the Scientific Center where we'll be educating different age groups of children on how space is important and how our CubeSat project will benefit our country. Also, we have an experiment in space. Basically, this is for all the students here in Kuwait. They are allowed to create an experiment, and it'll be launched into the ISS, right? So the winner of this competition will have their experiment in space on board the space station, which is pretty cool. Also, you can check out our website, which is one of our mediums of communication. And this is our social media handles, our Instagram and our QR code. You are free to scan it and basically follow us on social media. Coming up next, I have my colleague, Yusuf. He's from the Mechanical Thermal Systems. He will take it from here. So.
أول شيء بدي talk about the team responsibilities and goals. شنو أهدافنا وشنو responsibilities اللي علينا. Our responsibilities are as follows. We have to design, manufacture CubeSat chassis, assemble all subcomponents to CubeSat chassis, and qualify CubeSat for spaceflight. How do you go about designing a CubeSat? شنو هي الخطوات? Step 1, identify the constraints. Step 2 is design using computer-aided design. Step 3 is identify the loads. Step 4 is simulate the effects of the loads. And step 5 is manufacture and qualify for test, for flight. أول step هو identifying the constraints. جامعة Polytechnical University in California هي اللي حددت القواعد والقوانين حول الكيوبسات من ناحية الوزن، الحجم والمادة. من بعدها نروح على الديزاين using computer-aided design. هذا سوفت وير يساعدنا إن نسوي مثل اللي نبيه لكن على 3D موديل ونحط عليه مثل اللودز والأشياء، وبالنهاية نقدر نشوف الشكل النهائي قبل لا نستخدم الديزاين، نستخدم المانيفاكتشرنج تولز ونصنع. Step 3 identify the loads. طبعا مثل ما نعرف ان كل شيء له ضغوطات، فعندنا ضغوطات ميكانيكيه لما نطلق الستلايت. الضغوطات الميكانيكيه هذه تجي من الارقام، مثل ما تشوفون هنا عندنا كل ما هذا الوقت اللي يمر فيه الصاروخ والضغوطات اللي يمر عليها. فناخذ الضغوطات هذه ونحطها بالديزاين. الضغوطات الثانيه اللي راح تكون على الكيوبسات هي الضغوطات الحراريه. هذه راح تجي من الشمس، من انعكاس الحراره على الارض من الشمس، والحراره اللي تجي من الارض. هذه الثلاث ضغوطات. من بعدها ناخذ الضغوطات هذه كلها ونحطها بسيميليشن بروجرام راح نعرف شلون الكيوبسات راح يتصرف. من بعد ذلك راح نسوي مانيفاكتشرنج فور فلايت. نصنعه ونروح خلال عدة تيست. هذول التيست الشركات اللي راح تطلق الستلايت تطلبها منا، ولازم انتم تجتازون كل هالاختبارات هذه. بعد ما نجتاز الاختبارات هذه نكون خالصين وراح نكون ريدي فور فلايت. يعطيكم اوجه المايك الحين حق اخوي.
تسليم. السلام عليكم. راح أتكلم اليوم عن ال ADCS system اللي هو ال Attitude Determination and Control System. Attitude refers to the orientation of the satellite or spacecraft based on the X, Y, and Z axis. فإذا طلعنا الريموت راح نشيك ال pitch, the yaw, and roll of the spacecraft and satellite itself. Why is this important? If you're throwing something into space and it's orbiting, it's going to be spinning uncontrollably until something stops it. And for the satellite to be useful to us, we need it to be facing Earth, and it needs to be facing in a specific way that we want, as well as you need the solar panels to be facing the sun. That way we can power the satellite itself. This helps us with satellite tracking and monitoring, and the attitude estimation and prediction of the overall trajectory. And this allows us to communicate with the satellite. And the success and failure of a mission usually has to do with the success and failure of the ADCS system. Otherwise, you'll have something just floating through space and you can't communicate with it. So how do we know where we are in space? We use sensors. We use 3-axis sun sensors and star cameras. There are various different ways you can orient yourself in space. You can even use the Earth's magnetic field and find your position that way. And once you have this information, we call this information telemetry. We plug it into mathematical algorithms that help us stabilize the the satellite. What happens is you take the output from those algorithms and you plug them into actuators. And these are basically actuators that are on board on the CubeSat, and they will allow us to create torque in the opposite direction of the tumbling of the satellite. That way it can stabilize itself and orient it the way we want it to be. So how are we approaching ADCS? We're buying the sensors that we need, and we're going to set them up, calibrate them, and test them. And once they're functioning, we're going to have them integrated into the CubeSat, which is only 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And we also need to take into account the orbit that we're using, because the orbit has to do with when and how we communicate with it when it comes over Kuwait. And also, this also affects the parameters of the ADCS itself. Here's a quick look at the overall system. So you have the sensors giving you data, goes into the algorithm in the center there. Whoa. Asfin. Into the center there, the algorithm punches out those the output there, and it goes into the actuators. And this system loops and loops over and over again, correcting the satellite and its trajectory. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the EPS system.
So basically we're going to talk about the electrical power systems of our CubeSat. So the electrical power system is one of the most fundamental systems we have on our CubeSat, because it provides power to our CubeSat and maintains its health when orbiting in space. So the CubeSat is composed of these, these are its main functions, and these are its main components. It is composed of a solar panel, a battery, a charge controller, voltage regulator, and protection devices and sensors. Its most basic function is to receive the energy and power from the solar panels, and the charge controllers will transmit that power onto the battery. The voltage regulator maintains the loads, and the protection devices and sensors makes sure that our CubeSat is healthy and operating and not failing. This is the basic design of our electrical power system. Basically, in the beginning, we had only 2 solar panels, but in the final design, we're going to have 5, right? So it's a very simple design that it took a lot of research and process in creating this very simple design. It was one of our challenging systems to create. And moving on from here, I'll hand it over to Amel from the Onboard Computer team, and she will explain from here.
I'm Amel Khlafi, a senior engineering student from AUM. and I will talk about OBC, or the Onboard Computer. So OBC is the brain of the CubeSat, and it provides various services to the CubeSat. These services include communication with Earth ground station, time management, interfacing with other subsystems, and processing and storage. So the service of communication with Earth ground station is done by decoding commands and acting on them, and by collecting data and measurements of the CubeSat itself and send it back to the Earth. Another service provided by the OBC is time management, and this happens through two things, either by the chip itself or by connecting to an external real-time clock, and it's connected to a different cell battery, so it operates at all times. Another service, service provided by OBC is the interfacing with other subsystems, and the most two common ways is I2C and SPI. And here we can see I2C communication, and it sends and receives data with sensors by 2 wires. And the last service I want to talk about provided by OBC is storage, and it stores data in the chip itself so that it can send back to Earth, or it set up other subsystems. And different types of data provided is telemetry data, payload data, and initialization of parameters. So OBC consists of two systems, two elements, hardware and software. The hardware design, we need to take into consideration 3 things, which are power consumption and temperature and operating voltage. The second things for microcontrollers, we need to take care of the memory size, power consumption, and speed. Another important aspect, which is the software part. Here we can see the Bright software, Cube OS, and it's the benefits of it is free and open source, and it's communicates with other subsystems. And now Abdullah Sheikh will continue with communication.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Abdullah Sheikh. I'm from KFS Academy. I work at KFS Academy. I'm a programmer. I'm also a volunteer with the CubeSat team. And I'm here to talk to you about communications, about the communications team. So let's start. The basic responsibility for the communications team is to maintain a stable and well-established communication channel between the satellite and the ground station while it's passing over Kuwait. So we'll start from the beginning. What is communication in general? Communication is an exchange of information between 2 or more parties. So when 2 people talk, they communicate using language. That's their communication medium. For satellites, it's radio signals. So to get that done, we have to go through these 6 steps in general. So gathering, packaging, sending, receiving, unpackaging, and then interpreting. So we'll take them one at a time. Data gathering is basically taking the information that needs to be sent over the wire, in this case, over space, which is either retrieved or received. So either that data gets sent to us, or we retrieve it from a specific location, either OBC or ADSC, like the attitude determination. It could be an image, it could be a bunch of instructions, it could be as well sensor data. Now, after we take that data, we have to package it. So packaging in this case is creating a packet, what we call a packet. And in this specific case, it's an AX25 packet. What a packet helps us to do is organize the data in a specific way, where we can then later on check for completeness and damage of that packet. So we can make sure that this packet has arrived safely and is complete. After we do the packaging, we have to send it to the sending or the transmitting equipment, which basically converts that digital packet into a radio signal that goes through space, and then we can then later on receive it from the ground station. So when we receive that packet we receive those radio signals from space, we can then convert it back to a package or packet, and then we can then do our checks. Is it complete? Is it damaged? If it passes, then we can go to the next step, which is we unpackage it. So after unpackaging, we can get the original data that we sent through it, which is either an image, instructions, sensor data, whatever we want to send over, depending on the payload and depending what we decide to do. And we can also verify and check that data for completeness and for damage. The last step is to check for what type of data this is. If it's an image, if it's, as well as I said, if it's an image, if it's instructions, if it's sensor data, so we can send it to the right team afterwards. And that concludes the role of communication in general. And I'll hand over the mic to our friends at Data Processing and Management. Sabah, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Abdullah. I'm Sabah Al-Madani from Kuwait University. I'm teaching assistant in Information Science Department. This is my team. We're data processing and management DPM. What is data processing management? We collect data, so we organize them and then analyze them and then put them to the user, end user, in an understandable way, so he can make decision or more research in the future. Database management in Aish, we have 4 stages. First, we collect the data from the satellites. Now, Aish 4 collect data from other satellites using SatNogs. It's open source network. Anyone can open this network and see other satellites. Process. The process is the main stage. This is here we analyze the data, okay? And when we take this data, we can convert it to usable or readable information. After that, we store the data. After organize, we store the data, so further future research or even take decision for anything for the concern the CubeSat. Display the last stage. We display our information to the user. It's by graph or chart or even images or tables. Here we have. Now, why do we need database management in the CubeSat? First, to check the health of the satellite, the CubeSat. The health, it's the temperature, currency. If it's something wrong, this is will alert the end user and to do some action. After that, we store the data for further investigation or research, and last, display information in a meaningful way. That's it. Dr. Faili.
طبعا الحين بعد الشورت برزنتيشنز تعلمتوا اساسيات او تركيبه الاقمار الصناعيه المكعبه او الكيوب سات بشكل مبسط. تعرفتوا على تيم هم كلهم متطوعين وكلهم قاعد يشتغلون يعني على خلينا نقول انذر افتر اورز، سواء اذا كانوا موظفين او يشتغلوا او طلبه قاعد يستخدمون بس وقت فراغهم لان يشتغلون في المشروع هذا. طبعا نتمنى ان انتم تشجعونهم بشغلات بسيطه، حتى لو تحطون لايك على their accounts انهم قاعد يشتغلون في المجال هذا. اعتقد هذا يعني شيء مهم انه يشجعهم، لان الموضوع مرات يكون شويه تشالنجينج ويحتاجون تشجيع انه يستمرون في الموضوع هذا. شاكرين لكم وقتكم، واعتقد الحين ننتقل الى السيشن الجاي. شكرا.